Hi folks, this is Mark from Views from Mark. Just doing a follow-on video to the unboxing video that I'd posted about a month ago after I got this watch, which is the Omega Seamaster 300 Spectre limited edition. First thing to point out is that this is a watch that I own. I'm not sponsored by Omega. This isn't an advert or an endorsement for Omega. This is just my own experience owning this particular watch. Thanks for everyone who's viewed the unboxing video. If you haven't seen it and you want to see kind of what you get in the box as a package when you buy one of these watches, I'll put a link to that video in the description below, or you can click on the information bar that should be appearing at the top of this video right now. Also, thanks to everyone who's watched the comparison video that I made, which was the comparison between the NATO strap, which the one currently on this watch, as you can see here, this is the one that came with the watch. This is the strap with the brushed stainless steel kind of little details here, and the 007 logo etched into one of the clasps, and that was comparing that to the standard polished stainless steel NATO strap, which you can also get from Omega. If you haven't seen that one, I'll also put a link to that in the description below. So I've had this watch now for just over a month. It's been fantastic. I mean, that sums up the review probably in one word, but I'm so happy with this watch. It's been a great addition to what is a limited collection at the minute. I only own one other Omega, which is the Seamaster 300M. I've had that just under a year. That's been a fantastic watch as well. I've had no regrets getting that. That was a great investment. This watch, however, was a big jump up in price. Obviously, it being the limited edition, it's also, in the 20 years that Omega have been featured in the Bond films, it's the first time they've released a watch that's actually been worn in the film. They've released different special editions over the years, but they're generally not the actual watch that's worn in the film. The Seamaster 300 was announced last year, 2014, at Basel World in Switzerland, when they kind of relaunched the Seamaster 300 kind of as a reissue to the classic 1950s version. And then for the release of Spectre, Omega have released this limited edition, which, as I say, is featured in the film. It's got most of the same design elements. There are a few kind of subtle changes. The main and most obvious change that you'll probably see on this watch compared to the standard Seamaster 300 is the seconds hand, which features now this large lollipop seconds hand, which you can see ticking away there. The standard version is kind of a smaller triangular second hand, and this lollipop feature I think is really a beautiful piece of design. It makes it very easy to see where your seconds hand is. It seems to fit this face of this watch really well, I think, in my personal opinion. Some people prefer the other triangular shaped end. You know, I suppose at the end of the day it all comes down to personal choice, personal taste. For me, this one I really like, and I think it suits this watch really well. As I say, this watch is a bit different in that it comes as standard with this NATO strap, which you can see it's fantastic quality. I mean, I've not worn a NATO strap like this before, or on any kind of watch. I mean, there you can see the 007 etching on there. As I say, I've never worn a NATO strap before. I've always gone for the metal bracelet, so this was completely different for me. But I have to say, it's such a nice change, and after the first kind of day or two of wearing it, you get used to it, the different feel, and it just feels a lot more comfortable. As you go through the day, naturally your wrists, your joints kind of expand and shrink throughout the day, dependent on, you know, different varying factors, from anything from temperature to, you know, exercise and what have you. And with the NATO strap, it just feels there doesn't come a point in the day when you get that kind of tightness on your wrist or you feel the watch is digging into you, because the NATO strap has that bit more give to it. It's a bit more flexible, so it's a really comfortable strap to wear. Omega are also selling different colours and different variations of the NATO strap, which you can get for your own Omegas. There is a fantastic lineup and it's well worth checking out. But this strap is really comfortable. What I'll do is I'll pause the video quickly, put the watch on, and you can kind of see how it looks on the wrist, and that will give you a better idea of the actual overall look. So here we go. So there we go. That's the watch on the NATO strap, kind of on the wrist. As I say, it's really comfortable to wear. The detailing on the strap is really nice as well. It's very subtle. It's great quality. It doesn't feel cheap in any way. It doesn't feel flexible in that it's going to break, or anything's going to go wrong with the strap. And the spring bar pins that are in kind of holding the strap in place, they're really rigid and sturdy as well, so you don't feel at any point that you are going to have the watch fly off your wrist. As you can see, I think the watch looks great on the wrist. It's quite different having the NATO strap, and with the different colours that you could get a yellow and a black version, for example. As just one example, that will really bring out the watch a lot more. So it's great to have that extra choice and option. The watch also comes with a stainless steel bracelet, which you can have added on in a jeweller's, or you can change yourself once the actual links have been adjusted to the size of your wrist. Then they do give you a tool, basically this one, which you use to change the spring bars, and then that lets you attach the stainless steel bracelet. So I'll show you the stainless steel bracelet in a couple of moments. What I'll do first is I'll take the watch off and just show you the back, and you can see the inner workings and the caliber of the watch. So once the watch is off the wrist and you want to either change to the stainless steel bracelet or change the NATO strap, it's literally just a case of unfeeding the NATO strap through this first clasp here, which we'll do, and then also it just simply slides off like so, and that reveals the inner workings that you can see here. I didn't show the serial number that I got before, but it is, as you can see here, 393 of 7007. This timepiece was limited to 7007 units. Originally I was looking to get a serial number that was 1986, which was the year I was born, and I was in contact with Omega from sort of mid-August, and all credit to them, they tried very hard. By the time I'd actually got in contact with them requesting that serial number, the watches had been dispatched to the different boutiques around the world and different jewellers. So by the time they actually were able to trace down where that particular watch had been sent, it had unfortunately sold. So Omega in London, Regent Street, were fantastic. The customer service there has been brilliant by Anthony and all his guys there. Little shout out for them. He was able to say to me, if you want, we'll be able to get you another serial number. These are the ones that we've got, and they had 393. I just like that because, I don't know, it seems like a nice number. It's the same backwards as it is forwards, so it's a little different, I suppose. But yeah, here you can see the inner workings of the watch. Hopefully if we can focus, there we go. It's the 86 caliber, 8400 caliber, Omega's own in-house caliber that they use for this timepiece. Also you can see there's the Spectre logo engraved into the back, and this is a fully anti-magnetic timepiece that's rated up to 15,000 Gauss. But yeah, it's the watch casing is quite weighty. It feels great quality. There are a couple of design pieces which I will point out, which kind of differ from the Seamaster 300, which are elements that I actually quite like. In that the first one would be the bezel. the bezel on the Diver's 300M kind of rotates one direction, in one direction, you know, no link to the band, but it kind of it rotates so that you can set this for the time of your dives, you know how much oxygen you've got, etc. Which is great. It's a nice feature to have if you're a diver. I'm not a diver at the moment, maybe I'll take it up one day, but one thing I do find about that bezel is it can be, under certain circumstances, it can be tricky to rotate. The grips, you know, can be a bit slippy, whereas by comparison the Seamaster has this great kind of these great teeth along the bezel, and it is a bi-directional bezel, which means you can rotate in both directions, and it rotates a lot easier because you've got this extra grip on the bezel. So as I say, that's one feature that I really like. It also means if you're going abroad, you're going to a different time zone, it makes it easier to set the time without having to adjust the time via the crown. So say for example you were going, I'm in England, if I went across to France, which is an hour ahead, I would literally just move my bezel back one, and that would then tell me that in France it is, what, 29 minutes past midday. So I say that's quite a nice feature that I find, that I have actually used when I went away on holiday for a weekend last month. Another feature that's different, slightly different with the Seamaster 300 compared to the 300M is the crown. So if I show you, you can kind of get a sense of the size of the crown on the 300 is just that fraction bigger than the 300M, and also it has, I think, a better grip. The teeth on the crown are easier to grip hold of and turn, so that's quite a nice feature that I like also. It just makes it easier to wind up the watch or to change time. As I say, this is the 8400 caliber. It's been great for me. It's not lost any time. I think if anything, it's maybe gained a second or two. So I just kind of make sure the time is as up to date as I want it, maybe once a week, you know, and it's only out ever by about maybe 10 seconds after a week, which is great, and it's well within the limits of being a certified chronometer. So that's great. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video quickly. We'll put the metal bracelet on the Seamaster 300, the Spectre edition, and you can see what that's like, because there is a couple of different features with this bracelet as well. So now we've got the stainless steel bracelet, which is comes with the Spectre limited edition as well. The first obvious difference with this bracelet is that it is entirely brushed stainless steel, which I think looks amazing. I think it looks really good. It's a really nice feature to have. Whether Omega will roll this out with other bracelets, I don't know, or whether this is just for this particular limited edition, we'll have to wait and see. But the bracelet also comes with the customary 007 engraving on the back there, and that's probably the most obvious part of branding that there is with this watch. What I like about it is its subtlety as a limited edition. Most of the watches that they release that are kind of special editions, or you know, have a Bond theme with them, they have 007 on the face somewhere. With this, there isn't. It's just literally on the metal bracelet on the back, and also the engraving on the back saying that it is a Spectre watch, and the serial number of it being 7007 being the maximum. That's the only kind of reference to Bond that there is with this watch. As I say, this is the first time in 20 years that they've released the actual watch worn in the movie as a limited edition. Coming back to the bracelet, it looks really nice. It feels really nice quality, as you'd expect from Omega. To wear on the wrist, it's very comfortable. I'll just pop that on now. Amiga did adjust this to my wrist in store when I bought it, so I know it fits perfectly. In fact, I'd go as to say that it feels, whether it's just that it's fitted better or not, I'm not sure, but it actually feels a little more comfortable than the 300M, which is we have here, which it feels, but that's probably just down to the fit and the number of links. Perhaps maybe I need to get this one adjusted again, but it is a very comfortable watch to wear regardless whether it's on the NATO strap or on the metal bracelet. Another feature with this metal bracelet is there is a push release mechanism inside, and what that basically means is that you can see the push button there is about 1.5 centimeters, maybe 2 centimeters of extra room that you can get by pushing this release, and it will slide back and forth on the bracelet. So during the course of a day, say your wrist swells up a bit, it's starting to pinch a bit, you can just take the watch off, adjust it fractionally, and make it a lot more comfortable. This differs slightly to the release mechanism that's on the 300M and on other models. As I say, this push release is unique to the Seamaster 300, not just this limited edition but the normal standard version. On the diver's watch, what you have instead is kind of a wetsuit extension, so you kind of pop this out like so, and it kind of gives you by default that extension. There's not much room to maneuver in terms of size, it's just one size that it will extend to accommodate a wetsuit, which is fine and great. But as I say, I think it's a really nice addition to have this push release, so you can do a much finer tuning to get the watch to fit your wrist for whatever size of wrist you have. It's a great addition, and it just makes it that little bit more comfortable to wear. So yeah, that's the watch. That's the review. As I say, I've had this about a month and a little bit, maybe 5.5 weeks now. It's a great watch. If you've seen Spectre, I was kind of waiting for the film to be released across the world before doing this review. I saw the film when it came out opening night in London, which was the 26th of October. The film's great. I'm not going to say any spoiler alerts or anything that's going to give anything away, but suffice to say, the watch does look fantastic on the big screen, and the one feature that this watch doesn't have, which it has in the film, is an alarm, which is not giving anything away, but it is quite a loud alarm in the film, as Q says, but you'll have to see the film to see what that refers to. Certainly having an alarm, as there is in the film, could come in handy sometimes, but for most everyday use it's not necessary, I imagine. But yeah, if you haven't seen the film, it's well worth checking out. It's a great film. This is a great watch. Unfortunately, I think they've pretty much all sold out now, so if you're hoping to get one, you may have a tough time. This watch cost in the UK £4,785, roughly translated to dollars. I think that's probably around between $7,000 and $8,000. As I say, I've had this watch a month. It's pretty much all sold out now, and the only ones that I can see online that are for sale on places like eBay and some other jewelers, they're generally selling for about £1,000, up to £1,000 more than what I originally paid for it. So far it's been a great investment. Some people say yes, it's a watch, it's a lot of money, or a waste of money. Well, I think that's all down to personal preference and choice. Some people spend money on stamps, which end up in a book on a shelf, or on figurines, Star Wars figures, which stay in boxes, and people collect different things. So at the end of the day, it's your own personal preference what you want to spend your money on. If you work for it, you save up and you can buy the things that you like. This happens to be something that I considered for about 2 months before I actually went and pulled the trigger on it and decided I was definitely going to get it. But I'm thrilled with it so far. Thanks so much for watching. Please feel free to leave comments. If you've got any questions, leave them below. I'll try and answer them, or I may do a follow-on video answering any questions that come through. If you haven't checked out the other videos, please do go and have a look. I'll put the links below. or you can just check out my channel, or feel free to subscribe. And also any other future videos that you may think would be cool or would like to see, leave some suggestions below. But thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope this gives you a kind of a better overview of the watch. As I say, it's been great. I'm really pleased with it so far. Yeah, I think it's been money well spent. Enjoy the movie and have a great day, evening, morning, whatever time of day you're watching this, wherever you are in the world. Thanks very much. Bye.